Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry, we're live. Hello, everybody. Sorry for that technical error just now. Welcome to another Doctor Who commentary. Today we are commentating on the first ever story to feature the Daleks, simply called The Daleks, starring William Hartnell as the first Doctor in this story. This was actually the second Doctor Who story ever as well, so this is another interesting one. I'm here with Jack, the Watcher, and this is a non-profit commentary. We are just fans watching and listening, giving our thoughts. This is also prep for my review of the story, which will be coming on my main channel very shortly after this. So yeah, if you want to put your timestamps to 0 and put your DVDs in and follow along with us, then by all means do so. If not, just sit back and enjoy the ride. Is there anything you want to say, Jack, before we begin?
I don't know, do a quick speech by William Hartnell from Dalek Invasion of Earth. No, one day I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Just put your timestamp to 0 and mute the sound and get ready for the Daleks.
Yeah, the first ever Daleks as well.
Delete. Oh, sorry, wrong enemy.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play. This is going to be a long one. It's a very interesting opening.
Yeah, this is the DVD intro that they put in for the box set.
Oh, right, yeah. Fair enough.
Like part of the program, but yeah, they just put it in there.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love the original theme, and I mean this opening, like, you know, even nowadays it's still pretty impressive. I mean
it's probably the best title sequence just because it's the original, and it's so brilliant for the 60s how they were able to create this sort of vortex.
Yeah.
And I love how the end of the previous story segues into this one. I think that's really keeps the audience on the edge of their seat, whereas all of the newer episodes have to be conclusive. I kind of like that this kind of just throws you from one thing to the next.
Yeah, and they do that throughout William Hartnell's era. And what I like about the original era is, like, the new series, each individual part has a different name. It's not like episode 1, episode 2. Like, this episode's called The Dead Planet.
Yeah.
I mean, commenting on this, this is just after the events of the first story where they just encounter the caveman. So can you imagine, like, going from that and then meeting the Daleks at the end of episode 1? You know?
It's funny how in most of the Doctor's eras, as far as I recall, or at least the newer ones, the Daleks tend to crop up very early in the eras. Other than David Tennant, I would say, the Daleks just crop up so early. Like, this is only the second story ever, and the Daleks are here. I mean, they make quite an impact. I mean, and Terry Nation has to really be commended for his creations.
I think Raymond Cusick as well, who created the Dalek design, he never got that much praise. Like there's a feature on him on a Doctor Who DVD, and basically, I mean, he designed the look of the Daleks, but he didn't get any of the profits from the toys or anything because he worked for the BBC at the time. But I mean, I think you really have to thank Terry Nation and Ray Cusick, for writing the Daleks and creating the Dalek design, which is, iconic.
So I take it they're on
Skaro. Yeah, this is Skaro. It's being devastated by nuclear war with the Thals and the Dals. Yeah. They call them the Dals in this story instead of the Khalids, which they would call them later in Genesis. Like,
I don't know. Why doesn't he take it back? I'm not sure that he can.
I mean, I like the fact as well that, Ian and Barbara are just these two school teachers, and they're just sort of being taken on this journey by the Doctor.
It almost like this experience sort of makes them question everything they know, which is kind of weird. I suppose they, their curiosity of Susan led them to this. They did not see that coming.
Yeah. I mean, what's amazing about this is, I mean, this story was made over 50 years ago, but half the cast are still alive. I mean, of course, William Hartnell's dead, and Jacqueline Hill is Barbara, but Carole Ann Ford as Susan is still alive, and so is William Russell as in Chesterton. And I mean, yeah, I mean, talking about the story, I mean, yeah, this was the first the Doctor encountered the Daleks, and sort of the first story where we see the Doctor encounter an alien race.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose the cavemen don't really count as alien races.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, you could say, no, he encounters humans in the previous story, so I guess that kind of counts. But in terms of an adversary, yeah.
What I mean is, first time he encounters an alien race is in, like, us, the viewer, we encounter an alien race. Just smashes the floor. I mean, what's interesting as well about this, this creature.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Da, 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 da.
Yes. Well, now, welcome to Jurassic Park.
Like everything else in this place. Like everything else in this place. Solid. Yes, it is.
I mean, what's great about this as well is that they made this story into a film called Doctor and the Daleks with Peter Cushing as the Doctor, which is quite similar to this, but a lot different. Like, the character in the Peter Cushing film is actually called Doctor Who, and he's a human. And Barbara is his daughter, along with granddaughter, along with Susan. And I think William Hartnell as the Doctor, he's probably one of the most underrated Doctors, in my opinion. I mean, like, when you see a lot of rankings of the Doctors, a lot of people rank him really low, like towards the bottom of their list. Like some people rank him next to Colin Baker. I mean, and I really don't think he deserves. I think he deserves more praise because he was the guy who
started it.
Yeah, he created the role, and I think personally for me, I think the first 4 Doctors are the best. I mean, without Hartnell, you wouldn't have had Troughton, you wouldn't have Pertwee, Baker, or even Tennant and Capaldi. And I think Hartnell's great. I mean, he's sort of a grumpy old man, but but he's also, he's a grumpy old man, but he also mellows towards the end, and I think Doctor. I think William Hartnell is just a great actor. I mean, I've seen him in Brighton Rock with young Richard Attenborough. He was in Brighton Rock, a British gangster film from the 40s, late 40s, and he was a great actor. And it's kind of a shame that he left the show because he started to forget his lines and health problems. I mean, funnily enough, though, he wasn't that old when he started Doctor Who. He was only like 56 or something like that. He was about the same age as Capaldi when he but he looked older.
I mean, he did come back for the 3 Doctors.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with Troughton and Pertwee, but he did come back. Like, they filmed some scenes with him. Like he was originally supposed to be in that with them, but because of his health, he couldn't.
I mean, at least that was considerate of them. This is interesting because obviously, being the first story, I think this is absolutely perfect the way they've written this, because this is only the first part. It's they're just discovering the war-torn Skaro. Obviously, does the Doctor know it's Skaro yet? I mean, we as the audience.
I don't know.
Yeah, because we as the audience, for the first time, wouldn't have known that. Obviously, the story's called The Daleks, but when this first aired, everybody would have been completely scared shitless.
What bit are you on?
They're just seeing the buildings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the same bit I'm on. I mean, I think the Dalek City in this is really great. I mean, I love it. I mean,
I can see now that New Who has emulated some of those old designs in sort of the Gallifrey buildings as well. I mean, we haven't seen much of, we haven't really seen Skaro in New Who, but well, we haven't seen it much.
I mean, I honestly don't know how it's in New Who, because the Doctor destroyed Skaro at the end of Remembrance of the Daleks. So I don't know how they brought it back in New Who. They never explained that. I mean, that's Moffat's writing for you. But I mean, as for Skaro itself here, seeing the city, I mean, the model work, you know, even nowadays is still pretty impressive. I mean, this is years before CGI, and I think that the Dalek city looks brilliant. You know, even 50 years on, you know, it looks great.
What I like is there's that tension between the characters still. I mean, Ian was trying to one up the Doctor. You know, there's always this power struggle. It's like who's really in charge. And then he's like, well, you're the only one who can fly the ship. You know, and so they're never quite. They're still not quite trusting of him. But well, obviously that will change as the stories will go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, what I like is like you said, I like the tension as well, because it's interesting because the story after this is where it would really come to a head, the Edge of Destruction, which is I think a great episode. I think it's underrated. Like some people just think it's a filler story, but Edge of Destruction, it's really about the characters and their struggle, and that even after two stories, they're still trying to come to copes with each other, because the Doctor's basically kidnapped them, Ian and Barbara. You know, he's kidnapped them, and you know, Edge of Destruction's great because they're very paranoid, and it's only at the end of that story, Edge of Destruction, that they become a family, and after that, you see them become more of a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about these earlier stories is the shock factor. Like, all the characters make you feel that this is, even though it's really dated, like the acting, the performances, they really make you feel like you're as terrified as they are. I think, you know, Susan, particularly Carole Ann Ford, she's just a kid. She's a child. She's just been, you know, she's just tagging along, really, with her grandfather. But, you know, she's probably one of the most relatable characters. I know she's not technically human, but you know, I think anybody who was that age when they watched it would have been just as scared as she was. I would think anyway.
I mean, you said it's dated. I mean, of course, I mean, it is dated when it comes to the look of it. Compare the quality of television back then.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
I mean, it is dated, but even then, it's held up really well. I mean, just you can date it in comparison to the newer episodes, but I mean, look at the production design. It's got production values all over it.
Yeah, I mean, like when you said it's dated, I mean, yeah, it's dated in terms of it's not in color and it's not HD, but I mean, I would argue that, you know, yeah, I agree. I mean, the production values are great. I mean, the TARDIS, even now, still looks pretty damn good. And I like the black and white. I mean, I like the black and white quality of it, because you know, the black and white adds more tension. Like, you can create more shadows and you can create more tension in black and white, which I think works really well for these early stories of Doctor Who. I mean, it's interesting because Jacqueline Hill, she and Ian would go on until The Chase, the third Dalek story, and then they would leave after that. But she returned like years later for Meglos, Tom Baker, one of the Tom Baker stories. She played a different character to Barbara.
No.
I know where we are, I suppose. Now listen, Doctor, I don't want to argue with you. We're fellow travelers.
I just think William Hartnell, like, he's great. You know, I mean, he's this grumpy.
Young man.
Young man, you know.
What do we eat? That's a very good idea.
I mean, what I like about William Hartnell's Doctor is that even though he is grumpy, he's quite lovable as well. You know.
Yeah. And you know, there's a quirkiness to him. You can see that he's very odd, and that there is an alien in there. You know, he's you don't think this guy is human for a second.
Yeah.
And his costume as well doesn't speaks kind of odd as well. Like, he's just an odd man, and that works really for his Doctor.
Yeah, like all the inflections he has, like young man, and this is my TARDIS, you know.
The mannerisms.
I mean, this seems quite interesting as well, where like he's making them food, like he's this food machine. And it's like they make them like breakfast.
Mine doesn't taste of engine grease.
Subway, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
This?
Go on, try.
Come down to KFC and buy your new Dr. Biscuits. Dr. Burgers.
The new Angus Whopper from Doctor.
Yeah.
Bacon's a bit salty, but it shouldn't be. Seriously, Doctor.
It's funny. It's like a breakfast in a
I
cube.
taste the bacon, another, and I taste the egg.
It kind of reminds me of that like thing they had in Willy Wonka and the Charlie Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it does actually. I was just thinking about that.
I think maybe Roald Dahl got that idea off this.
Oh, blueberry pie and cream. You just expect Ian to blow up as a blueberry. Doctor, help me! Ooh. You're rolling in it.
Can you imagine William Hartnell taking a bite and then like he regenerates into Triton?
I think even the TARDIS, like the controls are much more simpler than they are now.
I like that. I like that TARDIS. It's one of my favorites because even though it is a bit simple, that's sort of the charm of it. Like,
I think you grow to appreciate that more over time, especially as the first Doctor, and this is the first TARDIS as well.
I mean,
Funny almost how the TARDIS sometimes regenerates like the Doctor. Obviously, the designs vary, but
yeah,
mostly the general sort of blueprint is the same. Like the whole control spiral being at in the center, then with the controls around it, and then the doors. You know, but mostly apart from that, it just changes.
I mean, I think William Hartnell as well is great in this. I mean, just yeah, like you said, he's very odd, but he's lovable. I mean, what I like about Hartnell's Doctor in comparison to say Colin Baker, like some people compare the two. But what I like about Hartnell's Doctor is he starts off grumpy and doesn't trust humans, but he grows to like them and he grows attached to companions. And the fact that he is grumpy, you know, it works because he's an old man and he mellows out. But the difference between him and Colin Baker is that, you know, the first Doctor, you know, even though he can be grumpy, he's never a dick. He's never a dick to his companions. He's never condescending to Ian and Barbara. He's like never like that rude to them, unlike Colin Baker. And I think the problem with Colin Baker was that by that time you progressed from the grumpy old man. You didn't need that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like this as well. Like the Doctor tricks Ian and Barbara by saying there's no mercury left in the unit, so he can go and investigate the city. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of amazing that this story still survives because originally when they were wiping the old Doctor Who episodes back in 1970, Ian Levine, who's found a lot of the missing episodes, he came to the BBC and apparently they were going to wipe this story. They were going to get rid of the first Daleks story forever. Ian Levine, who's still around today, he managed to stop them from destroying the first Dalek story, which is this one. And I'm so glad he did because it's, you know, I mean, could you imagine like having the first story but not the first Dalek story? Like, I mean, I couldn't imagine the story not existing. It would just be such a shame if, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they probably didn't know at the time that the show would go down in history like it did, but I mean, well, thankfully, like you said, it was saved.
Yeah, and I think Ian Levine deserves a massive amount of credit. He doesn't get enough credit for saving this story, you know. I mean, he saved a lot of them as well over the years. And, I mean, I think I think Scarrow here is very interesting, and it's interesting for the viewer because this is the first time you've seen an alien planet in the show.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous story, did they actually go to another planet, or were they on Earth like years ago?
Oh, they were on Earth years ago. I mean, it's funny because you call this story the Daleks, but some people call this the mutants, and it's interesting because the original Doctor Who stories didn't have like the original Doctor Who stories, like they all had different names for each episode. Like you know the way you've Stolen Earth Journey's End.
Yeah.
Like in the original Hartnell stories, they would have each episode called a different name. So the original story, some people call it 100,000 BC, others call it an Unearthly Child. It is called an Unearthly Child, and it is called the Daleks. But sometimes people refer to them as like different names because there wasn't like a select name for the entire.
Even though you can tell those are models, it's still, you have to kind of like look at it and go, oh, they really did go to a lot of effort during those days.
And Doctor Who, back then was made on a really small budget. This was all done on a tiny budget. It was only £2,000 an episode. It was only £2,000 to pay the actors, to build the sets for each episode, and for £2,000 an episode, they did a great job. They did their best, and I think it shows.
Gauges, anything like that. Ideally, what we want is a laboratory.
And
why don't we separate?
I actually remember the first time I saw this story was on BBC Four back in 2009, I think, or something like that. That was the first time I saw the story on BBC Four, and I watched it with my parents and my brother, and we watched all 7 parts, and it was great. I think as well, like Terry Nation, it's funny because he was a comedy writer. He wrote for Hancock's Half Hour, and then he wrote for Doctor Who.
Sorry about that, Jack.
It's no problem.
My mum came in to talk to me. I love that sort of the backdrop there of the corridor because it looks sort of slanted.
Yeah.
It's slightly uneasy, and I love the sort of, I don't know whether it's music or just incidental sound that's in the background, like the ooh, like it's really creepy.
Yeah, I like the angles, and the music's great.
As much as I love Murray Gold's music for the new series, I think sometimes having silence or sounds can be more effective.
Yeah, if I had to take the original theme, I like that shot there. She just covers the camera, like the camera lens, like it's the wall, like she can't, I kind of like the panic in Barbara's face, like, cause the whole place is like a maze, like all the corridors are the same.
That's the thing. Like, if you were to ever be cast as a companion in a role, you're basically all you have to do is react to everything and also ask a lot of questions, and mostly you just have to convey a lot of shock. It's not an easy job really because sometimes there are models, things on tennis balls or sort of it's a model, but they do a really good job at conveying the fear. And I think part of the reason why Doctor Who was as scary as it was back in the day was because of them, the cast, those companions. They made it because you felt like you were there with them. They made you feel scared through their performances. Like just now when the door closed on her, it's really quite impressive, I must say, for the 60s.
Yeah. Not only that, but I think the reason why it was scary as well was because there was a lot of tension and pace built up. We haven't even seen the Daleks yet. We're near the end of the first episode. That's what I like about this story is that it takes time which, you know, for some people might be a bit of a drawback, but that's what I liked about the classic series, is that everything isn't slap bang. Like, you know, you're not in a rush every episode. Like, you know, that's what I like. I mean, I like the slower pace, the fact that it's building up tension. You don't know what the Daleks are yet, and you don't know, you know who they are.
Even though this story is, well, nearly 3 hours long, but even so.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a lot of these shots in the new series as well.
And
that was the perfect shot to end it on.
Yeah. And what's interesting as well, that story when it first came out, like, you know, the first episode was a moderate success, but that story was this is the first story where Doctor Who became really massive. There was Dalek mania. Everybody just loved the Daleks, and apparently Terry Nation got calls on his phone after that episode. Like, people were wondering what that was. I mean, and I agree, it's like a great shot to end the program on. You know,
I noticed that shot because it also reminded me of that shot in Bad Wolf, when Rose sees the Dalek and it approaches her. Obviously, it has the blue eye vision, but that's something they added in for the newest series. But no, that shot at the end was great.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say as well, the original theme by Delia Derbyshire, it's a masterpiece. I mean, it really is. Woo, you know, it's great.
Murray has obviously done different versions of it over his over 10 years now, working on the show. But you know, credit has to be given. That original theme is just brilliant, and it's still great even today.
I mean, I wish they would bring it back in some ways, because I think after Series 5, the theme tune just became a bit more poppy, you know, a bit more, or there was a bit more of the orchestra in it, like that, and I didn't like the da 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 da. I just wish they would go back to that more haunting, chilling sort of theme.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the first time as well where the whole cast meets the Daleks and we see what the Daleks look like. I mean, one thing as well I would say, I love the documentary An Adventure in Space and Time by Mark Gatiss. That was brilliant. Like, the way they showed how the original show was made.
Yeah. Yes.
No, young man.
Coming from in here. Ah, this is more hopeful. We ought to find some mercury here.
But I think William Hartnell's Doctor, you can see he's got a curiosity that he wants to find out stuff.
Yeah.
You think he kind of also has an inkling. He kind of knows, but he kind of doesn't. He knows that he has a feeling it could be, well, Daleks, or he knows that there's something going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. They made 2 Dalek movies in the 60s. The first one with Peter Cushing, based on this story, and the second one with Peter Cushing as the Doctor, based on the second Dalek story. And Bernard Cribbins was actually in that. Who later played Wilfred in the new series.
Yeah.
Wilfred. And you can tell they've got radiation sickness, which is quite scary.
I mean, we're already on part 2 as well, which is quite amazing. Part 1 didn't drag at all. It really didn't.
All human tissue that leaves the buildings and machinery intact. How much radiation? How badly? You need drugs.
It's quite scary, you know, that they're covered in radiation and they've got radiation sickness.
Don't you remember?
Only the Doctor doesn't die of radiation. It's like, you know, to regenerate.
Everybody wanted to go on, and well, to avoid arguments, in short, there's nothing wrong with really.
Basically lied to them.
Oh.
So we could go into the city.
You old fool! You'll stay at Pajak for life, we need an immediate return to the ship.
I mean, it's interesting as well because when they first land, there's no radiation on the planet, but then when they leave, the counter like goes up.
Susan and I are going back to the ship now. All right, carry on, fine. What do you think you'll get without this?
Well, the Doctor is acting as though he doesn't care. He's like, oh yeah, go on, you can go back and search for him. You know, he's like, I've got more important stuff to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because at this point the Doctor doesn't really care for Ian and Barbara because they were intruders. They intruded in his TARDIS and, you know, he kidnapped them. So, you know, he doesn't really... It's not until the Edge of Destruction when all the characters are... I mean, this shot here is just great. Music.
This is the first shot of the Daleks ever.
Exterminate! I mean, and the Daleks back then... I mean, the Daleks back then, they still hold up. I mean, they still look really good and the voices are still great. I mean, Peter Hawkins did a great job with the Dalek voices.
Mm. I think the voices are just really, really good as well. They're really quite scary.
Exterminate! Paralyzes him. And yeah, I mean, Daleks really caught on with the public. Like this story really made the Daleks big.
I thought at first that he'd actually killed Ian. I was like, my goodness me.
Yeah. It's interesting that Ian would die during the Daleks' master plan. She was sucked out of an airlock, Katarina.
Mm.
I mean, even though... I mean, even though, you know, they've only been in the TARDIS together for a little while, you can already tell that they're sort of starting to become friends. Like,
there's a camaraderie brewing between them, and because they're in danger, also, I think that's also bringing them closer together as well. The four of them.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we don't go back to Skaro that much in the original series. I mean, the next time I think we would go back to Skaro would be in Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker. Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, I was going to say, do you think there's someone inside?
Are Barbara and Ian actually... Are they a couple or are they just colleagues?
Idea what's inside.
They're colleagues. But I think, Russell T. Davies said in the new series that they got married after this, which kind of makes sense because you can kind of tell there is a little bit of a romance. Like they do care for each other.
Yeah.
The doctor's pretty badly hit.
Well, how do you know it's radiation? On the Geiger counter. It seems that all the time we've been in the open, we've been exposed to it. Well, what's going to happen to us?
Unless we get treatment.
And the fact that also with Susan, their relationship changes. It's not just student and teacher. It's more of a friendship that starts to brew. Because they understand her, and obviously the fact that she's the doctor's granddaughter. They kind of see her in a different light as well. She's not just a student anymore. they care for her as well. They try and protect her, which I really like.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Daleks in this are great. Like, you know, you just see them basically. I mean, they're not ruthless at this point, but you can see that they're very menacing, and I mean, they're spying on them. You know, you can tell that they're not just robots; they're thinking beings. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the sets are great here, like the way that door opens and the Daleks themselves.
I mean, compared to the previous story, the production values have gone up so much.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the previous story, though,
no, that is not true. We know that ours have existed outside our city. The truth is your supply of drugs has failed, and you get into the city.
I mean, the Daleks are quite threatening, like how big they are, how, like, you're looking at them on screen, they're quite big, they're quite wide.
I mean, especially as the Doctor has sort of been weakened as well. He's been brought down, and you know they've got the upper hand, so they naturally look more terrifying than him.
Yeah.
But Hartnell's doing great in this scene. He really is, because he has to act as though he's in pain, but also, you know, he's trying to understand what they're doing.
I love that shot there, the Dalek eye lens, like you see the eye moving, which is great, because I think later on they would just paint on the Dalek pupil, but here you see like the Dalek eyeball, the pupil, the lens move. Like,
well, you know, budget cuts. Maker.
Providing whoever you send understands, the rest of you will be held responsible.
I mean, it's interesting that on the screen back there they have the title sequence.
We have the time vortex.
Yeah. But it's in the title sequence, yeah.
Tell me something about the house.
Over 500 years ago, there were two races of this planet. We, the Daleks, the Mars.
Yeah.
After the neutronic war, our Dalek forefathers retired into the city, protected by our machines.
And the house?
Most of them perished in the war. We know.
I really like these angles as well.
Oh, the shots, yeah.
The fact that they had survived, they must have had drugs that preserved the life force.
And knowing that these mutated creatures exist outside the city, you're willing to send one of us in amongst them?
As you say yourself, all your lives depend on it.
You can tell that this is based on the Second World War and the Cold War, like the threat of nuclear annihilation and mutual destruction, like, you know, a nuclear war.
I mean, bearing in mind, this was only, not like almost 20 years after World War II ended.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long. And that was quite a bold move to do that.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting as well is like Terry Nation before this was mostly a comedy writer. He wrote for Tony Hancock, and when he was first offered to write for Doctor Who, he was sort of offended by it because Doctor Who was sort of a children's program. But I think he soon became to see the show as it being a family show, but you could also tell adult stories in it.
Yeah, and also scared the living daylights out of people.
Yeah, hiding behind the sofa.
The kind of drugs outside the house, but now
Yes, what about them?
it's possible that they may have been anti-radiation drugs. I can't be certain.
You could tell he fluffed up his line there. He said they may have been anti-radiation gloves, drugs.
None of us are very good shape.
But they left it in there.
It must be me.
Yeah, because it was live TV back then. They couldn't edit it out. They couldn't do another take. Cost too much. This was recorded, but it was like live TV back then. It was still pretty much nearly live TV. Like before they started recording stuff and videotape, they just did shows live. And
Yeah.
I think William Hartnell's acting here is really great. You can really tell that the Doctor's really badly ill.
How did they survive out there?
Hartnell does a great job of showing the suffering of him.
Yeah.
And also, it kind of changes the dynamic as well, because it makes the companions take charge as well. I mean,
yeah.
Well, like Ian, even though Ian doesn't really like him at this stage, he's not willing to let him die. So, so you can see that the friendship and the camaraderie is brewing.
Yeah. And it's not till Edge of Destruction where the characters are really
Pushed to the edge.
Yeah, pushed to the edge, like, and it's not until the end of that story where they sort of make up and they become friends and they start to trust each other.
Yeah.
There are 21 different holes inside the lock. There's one right place and 21 ones. If you make a mistake, you'll the whole inside of the lock will move.
It's interesting as well that, when it came to wiping the original stories, most of the William Hartnell era survives. Like his first season, stories out of 10, and the second season there's only one missing story out of 10. So most of Hartnell's era survives. It's Triton stuff that most of it's missing, which is odd. Do you think they would erase the Hartnell stuff first because it's older? But
Yeah.
they kept a lot of it, which is good.
Well, I think they are working to try and find some more, aren't they? Or they have animated over some of the audios that they found, like for the Ice Warriors.
Yeah, they did an animation for all 6 parts of Power of the Daleks. Triton's first story. They animated all 6 parts.
What was that? His first story?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All 6 episodes are missing, but they've animated them all, and it's out on Blu-ray now. You can get a black and white version and a color version. I mean, personally, I would go with the black and white because that's how it was made. But
yeah, I mean, you've still got the audio as well from. They must have recovered the audio.
Yeah, the fans were good because they recorded all the audios of all the missing stories back when they didn't know they were missing. Like fans recorded all the audio of the stories off the TV, which is great because at least we have every Doctor Who story. At least we have every Doctor Who story in audio form, and they can animate missing episodes from the audio and the pictures that still survive.
Yeah.
And I would recommend getting Power of the Daleks DVD or whatever, because the animation's great, and it's great to see Triton's first story animated.
I like this scene. Ian's, encouraging Susan to be brave and do what they need her to do, because obviously he can't walk. The Doctor's ill. Barbara can't do much either, so it's up to her. I mean, she's really. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No. You go on. Sorry.
No, I've actually forgotten what I was going to say.
No, you said he was encouraging Susan.
Well, I would say he was encouraging Susan to go out with the Dalek, because he can't walk. The Doctor's weak, and Barbara is obviously too scared to do anything else. So
yeah. I mean, imagine the 5th Doctor, Braveheart Susan.
Would you like a jelly baby?
Would you like a jelly baby? Yeah. It's funny because in Destiny of the Daleks, Davros comes out and the Doctor just says, "Oh, I see 1,000 years of sleeping hasn't cured your megalomaniac. Have a jelly baby." Just knocks it out of his hand. When the Doctor throws the hat over the Dalek's eye stalk, my vision is impaired.
It's hitting so so badly, Ian.
I mean, you can really see the struggle of the characters. They're all sick and they're all on a planet they don't know. I mean, you really feel the tension. You know, you really feel that they could die.
Yeah. Even though it's just them against however many Daleks. Like this is the first time you really see, because the cavemen didn't really phase them that much. I mean, they were kind of terrified, but this is really because they're now all personally at a stage where they could nearly die, like you say. So the odds are higher, the stakes are higher, which I think is what works in this favor.
I mean, speaking of an unearthly child, I mean, I know you're not a huge fan of it, but I mean, for me personally, I mean, I think what I like about that story is that the stakes aren't really high. It's just a story about the Doctor and his companions coming across cavemen who want to make fire. You know, they want. I mean, you know, it's a power struggle sort of story, and you know, you see that the cavemen want to make fire and they want to. And you know, they need the Doctor's help, and they'll do anything to do it. But I think, yeah, I mean, I think in terms of stories, I mean, I think this is better because the stakes are higher, and it's the first time you sort of stepped onto an alien world. I mean, personally, I think I would give the first story maybe a 7 or an 8 out of 10, but this probably like a 9 or a 10.
Fair enough. This is very well done as well.
Yeah. I mean, what's good about it as well is that it's in black and white, so you can't really see the you know, if it's a set or not. I mean, you can kind of tell it's a set, but it's not as obvious as if it was in color.
It's like a fever.
He's breathing so bad.
He's regenerating. Well,
get your hands off me, my boy.
Get off me, Chesterton. What are you, a pervert, young man?
I don't fuck with humans. Literally.
Oh, River Song. Woo!
Oh, hello, sweetie. Spoilers, young man.
Could you imagine, could you imagine if, like, William Hartnell met the Doctor's, it was in the Doctor's wife, and he's like, sexy, sexy TARDIS.
That's an overrated story.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like it. I mean,
To me, it was just way too weird.
No, yeah, but not only that, it's like, why would you make the TARDIS into a woman? Like, the TARDIS is a machine. It's not a person. It's just stupid. I mean, you know, I think Neil Gaiman, to be honest, I think that's a good shot there.
This is only the second part as well.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it was Usain Bolt. I mean, he would be there and back within a couple of seconds.
Has she reached the jungle?
Yeah.
Whoa!
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Well, she made it back to the TARDIS.
Imagine she came across Simba from The Lion King.
What are we doing? A pouncing lesson. Oh, very good. Pouncing.
William Hartnell. It's a circle of life.
Run away and never return.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got
What's in the little box?
It's the anti-radiation drugs.
Oh right, well that's a bloody big pill.
Oh no! The drugs are in there.
No, I was just joking around. No. I can't wait for an hour. I'm dying, you fool.
Gate of Eden stood disconsolate.
Thou craggy knob.
Oh!
The escape. That was the end of part 2. Very good.
Yeah.
Right, because this is a long story, so the first part you had the build-up, which worked. Second part, they're all dying. You know, and this is a 7-part story.
Yeah.
I really do think that Susan probably is going to die. She doesn't, because she's in the stories after. But it's the tension that works so well.
Paced. And I think the Daleks as well, like Peter Hawkins and David Graham, who did the Dalek voices.
And Christopher Barry's direction as well was superb.
I mean, he would go on to direct loads of Doctor Who stories. Like, I think he's one of the best Doctor Who directors up there with David Maloney and Graham Harper. You know. I mean, it's funny because they were originally going to have William Hartnell's face in the title sequence, but they thought it was too scary for young people, for young kids. I mean, and I like the fact that every episode is a different name.
Yeah. Written by Terry Nation. I say, my boy, who is Terry?
Young man, get off the TV.
You young man, your face disgusts me. Get away!
Yeah, the St. John's ambulance sticker there. It returns in the Matt Smith era.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, these are the files. I mean, you can sort of see the terror in her, you know.
I'm sure as time goes on, she becomes more courageous, but here she's scared shitless.
She's a young sort of girl.
Yeah, she's only a teenager, isn't she? So.
I mean, Carole Ann Ford was actually in her 20s, but yeah.
Yes, I was very comfortable.
Oh wow.
I've come now
She's
to make
15
certain
in
you
the-
understand how to use the drugs I left
The
in
story.
this. Yeah, Susan's 15, but Carole Ann Ford was 20.
Go on, have a sniff of coke. Oh yeah.
What's rules? Everybody dies!
Everybody's on crack.
It's funny because Horrifying Rock, everybody dies. With Tom Baker.
Can you imagine if this story was with Christopher Eccleston? It would be set in Manchester with a load of crackheads working for the Daleks. It'd be like some mob gang from up north. Like, we want you to find the doctor. And there's like a bar brawl, and they're like dealing drugs with the doctor.
Dalek spotting.
You want medicine? I'll give you medicine.
Instead of train spotting, Dalek spotting.
TARDIS spotting.
Instead of our friends in the north, our Daleks in the north.
Our planet's in the north.
I shall give you a further supply which you must hide as best you can.
What's a planet of the north?
Which you must hide as best you can. You trust me.
It's funny, he gives them another batch. Like the Daleks take one and they take one.
Are you on drugs, mate? Drugs? Am I on drugs? I can dance.
Could you imagine if this was Colin Baker? By this point, he would have strangled Susan.
He would have strangled all three of them.
Yeah.
He probably would have been the one to implant the radiation in them. You're all a bunch of craggy knobs.
What the state of that?
Do you want to look at my craggy knob?
Come on, Perry. You want to get in my knob.
Very well.
Whoa! Oh, so Scarro does have crackheads.
The guards said the drug was that quickly.
Exterminate!
His pulse is steady now, anyway.
Ooh! They're still stuck in prison.
I mean, I think William Hartnell's great because you can tell the doctor's really sick. You know, they might die.
It was strange when the Daleks found so we were going to keep both lots. They didn't seem to change their mind and gave the second lot back to me.
Yeah. The dolls seem more friendly.
Oh, yes. Why they gave me the float to keep me warm? Why do the Daleks think their mutations? I don't know. Judging by Adam, they're magnificent people.
Susan.
Grandfather?
I mean, this is only the second story, and the Doctor's nearly dying. You know, this just goes to show how seriously they were taking this show. This is not played for camp laughs. This is serious stuff, and it's generally frightening. And that's the wonderful effect that the show has, that it was able to scare people that much, that it felt real, even though you know that it's sci-fi and they're aliens, but
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I think
so strong.
I mean, I think that's what Verity Lambert said. Like, when someone asked her why do you think Doctor Who was cancelled in the late 80s, and she said it just got a bit camp.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's the thing, Doctor Who, you know, it can be camp.
Yeah.
But, you know, if it's
That's the thing. The 80s were kind of camp. They had to work with the times, which was a shame, really, because obviously Tom Baker was on his last legs, and then Peter Davison came in. And then, you know, Colin Baker's era, sort of really, they were really taking that seriously. Camp is okay if you sort of know where to draw the line, if you can have fun with it, but don't oversaturate it. Colin Baker, they had it. Everything was camp, but they tried to take it seriously, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, they made it too violent as well. Tried to make it camp and violent, like having him strangle Perry and having him kill a alien with cyanide in the Two Doctors. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant the slug. How did he kill the slug?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite interesting, this stuff with the Daleks, you know, they're spying on them, you know.
It's funny how the Daleks haven't really changed too much. I mean, they have in terms of like designs and color palettes, like, but the voices stayed the same. The general like layout has stayed the same. We've seen inside the Dalek case. I mean, we've had a few more reveals about them, but in terms of their actual sort of main design, we haven't really seen much change. Like, and you know, that just goes to show how good they are. I mean, the one thing I will say about the Matt Smith era is that I didn't like the Daleks, the colors, like the multicolored Daleks, like it was so goofy, like it just didn't work. In Victory of the Daleks, when they revealed like the Supreme 5 Daleks, I was like, no, that doesn't work. No, stop.
Could you imagine a Dalek here offering them water, saying, "Would you like some tea?" You know.
Would you care for some tea?
I mean, I think the problem with the Matt Smith era as well, when it came to the Daleks, is they just they just made the Daleks a joke. Like, Asylum of the Daleks was just, I mean, that was abysmal. I mean, it was basically, oh yeah, let's have the Daleks, but they don't kill anybody and they say eggs, and we'll have this stupid subplot with Rory getting divorced and Amy, and we'll only have the Daleks in the background. We'll bring all the classic Daleks back, but they won't do anything. They'll just stand around like, you know, like prats. I mean, I think that was the problem with a lot of the Daleks. I think the problem with the Daleks as well, since the new series, is they just used them far too much. I mean, what's good about the classic series is that there would be a few years break between each Dalek story. Like, you would have, I mean, like, Resurrection of the Daleks came 5 years after Destiny of the Daleks, and you had I mean, Tom Baker, the longest-serving Doctor, only encountered the Daleks twice. You know, compared to Pertwee, encountered them 3 times, and Hartnell 4 times. You know.
Yeah.
The Daleks were teachers when they started.
Yes, they were, and philosophers.
I mean, the Daleks have been like overused at points, particularly in the new series.
There you go.
Like
No.
every single finale, other than series 3, and a few others. You know, when the RTD era, he sort of like used the Daleks in like 3 finales. I was like, come on, you don't need to do that. I mean, to be fair, they were great finales. I'm not gonna lie, but I suppose the Daleks are like default villains. They're just like the easiest ones to throw in there because they're naturally quite scary. I mean, it was awesome seeing them go against the Cybermen in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. I mean, I really liked that story. I mean, other than the whole Rose death thing, you know, the actual confrontation between the 2 aliens races worked really well.
I mean, I think when it comes to the Daleks, one of the best is Dalek from Series 1, you know, the relationship between the 9th Doctor and the Dalek when he's like, you know, well, what are you going to do to me? You know, if you can't kill, then what's the point of you, Dalek?
What are you going to do to me, Dalek? Come at me, bro. I'm ready. Yeah. Fuck you, you bastard.
No, but what was great about that story as well was, like, you know, Eccleston, you know, the Doctor really hated the Daleks. He's like, why don't you just wipe the universe from your filth? Why don't you just die? But, you know.
You would make a good Dalek.
Yeah. I mean, the Thals, I mean, I think as a species, I mean, I wish they would come back to the new series because after Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker, we never see the Thals again. They just sort of disappear.
Yes, go on. What did you plan? The young girl will speak with the Daleks.
Ugh.
How many minutes are you in?
11 minutes.
Yeah, same.
About halfway through.
Yeah.
We're actually nearly halfway through this story. By the time we get to this point in the next part, we'll be halfway.
No, the Daleks
Yeah.
are hostile to us.
Oh, just a minute.
Liquid foods, water in abundance.
It's interesting that Daleks get her to write a note to the Thals. It's like, why would you trust the Daleks?
Do.
Writing a letter to the Thals from the Daleks, but like, why would you trust the Daleks?
Yeah, I think trust is a bit of a strong word. What do you have done?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you're right about the Daleks. Their basic design has remained the same.
Yeah.
If you compare another Doctor Who villain to the Daleks, the Cybermen have changed a lot. Like, if you see the Cybermen in the 10th Planet compared to the Cybermen in the new series, they're very different.
Yeah.
Last word. It's what I'm called. Why not? My name. Susan.
We have plans for you, Susan.
May of the message.
Yes. Look at me, you frightened them. They're very friendly people. All they want is food. Let me take the message.
No,
Why not?
we have planned. Otherwise,
She's really brave, actually, confronting all of these Daleks. You know, she's right in the middle of them.
Yeah.
We knew you could hear us, but you knew about the cells and the food.
it does not matter. We have the
But I think the Dalek designs here are still great.
Well, how many minutes are you in?
About 13 minutes.
How
Same.
suspicious. Just because the Daleks didn't kill us,
No reason.
It's interesting because they know they're being spied on.
Maybe they just have a different way of doing things.
The Daleks put it in the call. I know what you're going to offer.
I tell you, the Daleks are good people. I think we ought to cooperate with them.
Ever since you talked alone to the Daleks, you've been on their side. What have they done? Bribed you or something? Oh. Why are you
It's
on their
interesting
side
because-
against the rest of us? Take your hands off me! How dare you? I want to
They're sort of staging a fight. Taking out the camera.
Don't waste time.
Deliberately.
Accidentally struck the
I love the robotic sort of way they speak is, you know, just showing that there's no emotion whatsoever.
Yeah.
extermination. There is no escape from the roof that holds them. They
So
may well
have they cured them yet with the antidote?
Yeah, they're cured, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They were allowed the drugs. I mean, I think the Dalek voices here are I mean, they're great. I mean, you could definitely tell Nick Briggs got a huge inspiration from Peter Hawkins. Like, he even said that when he watched this story, when he watched the original Dalek stories, he just loved the voice of the Daleks, and that was his inspiration, of course.
And it was good that they sort of kept with that tradition. I mean, I know obviously it's a different actor, but Nick Briggs has done a pretty good impersonation of this guy. And, you know, that impression has remained ever since the show came back. So I think now it's good because that means everybody's familiar with it. And I'm glad that that voice has stayed. Same with the Cybermen as well.
No, a fairground.
Although actually the Cybermen, their voices changed slightly in the new series.
I think they're powered that way.
It's interesting because you find that the Daleks are powered by electricity from the ground. Like,
How do they complete the circuit? No. I believe the Daleks static electricity. Very ingenious, if I might.
What? Drawing power.
it's interesting because William Hartnell was wearing a wig when he was playing Doctor Who.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. There's actually a funny picture I used to have, which was quite funny, where you see a makeup person put the wig on him, about to put the wig on him.
Concentrating, young man? Susan, the cloak the Thals gave you.
Yes, it's just behind you.
Father, come here. What do you think this is made of?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I think the Daleks,
Whatever it is, it'll do
after
And what will it do, young man? Insulate.
Moffat took over, they've just sort of been,
About the Daleks taking
they just sort of become a parody now. Like, you had,
putting them out of
what was it? You had that Dalek Rusty. They called the Dalek Rusty and Into the Dalek. I mean, I liked Into the Dalek, but I just think Moffat has turned a lot of the Doctor Who villains into sort of parodies. Like, you had Strax, you know, a friendly Sontaran. You had
Strax was never a villain.
yeah, I know, but I mean, I just think that Moffat, I just think he's made the old villains a bit too friendly. Like, I mean, I know he wasn't a villain, but the Sontarans aren't supposed to be comic relief. And you had Handles, the Cyberman. It's just like, come on.
And then again, RTD, well, whoever wrote the Sontaran two-parter made him slightly comical anyway. In with David Tennant.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Sontarans, but I think with Series 4 they kind of ruined them. You know, the Sontar ha, you know, it's just a bit ridiculous.
I thought they're all right. I mean, they just kind of look ridiculous anyway. They just look like potato heads.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I like them as, like, I think they're good villains. Like, if you watch the Time Warrior of John Pertwee, like, they're just warriors. They just want to fight people. Like, they just want to fight and stuff. And that's what I kind of like about them.
It's signed by the girl, Susan. She says the Dalek people have no malice towards us, and they hope that they can work with us to build a new and safe world, free from the fear of war. They have the ability to produce food
I mean, I have to say, I think that blonde girl in the cloak, she's quite fit.
What?
So there it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Watch very carefully. See that you notice every detail on that machine.
And then I like this bit where they're trying to capture the Dalek. Would you like some crackers?
Cheese, Gromit. Don't forget the crackers.
Just give him food. You'd think they'd just let him starve.
I'll be able to jam the door with a piece of this.
I'll be able to jam the door with a piece of this.
You seem to be able to cover all of it. It's impossible to hide from it.
Yes. Perhaps we can throw a coat over the lens.
Surely it would see you.
Yes. Doctor, perhaps we can stage something. You know, a distraction. And when the lens looks the other way, throw something over it. Yes, Secretary.
Wait a minute. Sit in front of your shoes.
It's interesting because in the new series, like when Wilf shoots the Dalek in the eye of the paint gun, he's like, "My vision is not impaired." If you kind of look at a Dalek, it's sort of a Cyclops sort of thing with just one eye.
Very sticky and very nasty.
Very good idea.
Just very quickly.
Yes, not too near the door. The door's making suspicious.
Is that there?
Yes. Quickly.
I mean, I think the Peter Cushing Daleks as well and Doctor Who and the Daleks, they're great. I mean, I'd definitely check out the Peter Cushing Dalek movies if you ever see them. They're on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, they're quite fun. I mean, they're shorter than this. Like, I think the Dalek story that they did of this is only an hour and a half. The Peter Cushing film.
Take this.
Would you like some chips later?
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. I don't know why, like, Ian Chesterton sort of pulls the Dalek towards him. Like,
Well, that was a very thing to do.
I think I'm all right. Swing it round. Keep on the way, Susan. Now.
I mean, it's quite interesting. Like, Blue Peter is offering. Well, there was this. Like, Blue Peter was going to offer this thing years ago, where if you find a missing episode, you get a life-size Dalek. I wonder if they would still do that.
Yeah. No, Blue Peter.
Well, I mean, we've got 2 minutes left of this. It's going pretty fast.
This is only part 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
4 more parts after this.
Well, after the next part, the next part will be halfway through.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this is the first time we see a Dalek mutant.
I'm getting excited.
I think there's a sentry down that end of the corridor. Oh, they made such a terrible. Ian, hurry!
Daleks.
Not much room for my legs, but.
Susan Barbara. It's funny because William Hartnell's inside a Dalek in the Space Museum.
Yes, in a monster. You've heard them.
Do you mean that?
Can you see all right?
No. There's some sort of screen. Oh, it's a mud. Wipe the mud off the lid.
Oh, that's right. Let's look closer. Is that better?
Yes, I can see now. I can't make this thing move. It's full of control.
Oh, don't worry, we're pushing.
We're pushing you.
It won't be.
All right, now, Susan, Barbara, you get trying to pretend I'm taking you for questioning.
Right, yes.
And Susan,
Yes?
you lead us. You know the way.
This way then.
Ambush. I wonder if there'll be a Dalek story in series 10.
I would say, as this was last series, at some point, but yeah, who knows? I mean, because we didn't actually have a Dalek story in series 9, at least that I can remember. Oh, no, we did actually. Sorry, the opener was a Dalek story. Sorry, completely forgot.
Yeah, that episode there was directed by Richard Martin. I think he directs the rest of the story.
What, Richard Marquand?
Oh, no, sorry, Richard Martin.
Oh, right. I thought you said Richard Marquand. I was like, bloody hell.
Return of the Jedi.
Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
Actually, interesting, they used... You know what I found out recently? The outfits they had in the Patrick Troughton story, the Space Pirates, they used them in Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope.
What did they?
Ambush. Written by Terror Nation.
We love you, Terry. We do.
Terry. You know what's interesting? That Dalek mutant you saw there was actually a gorilla. It was actually a gorilla hand underneath a blanket they poked out.
Yeah. Off we go.
We go. Could you imagine if this was Matt Smith, he would just be offering them jammy Dodgers?
Yeah, which he does in Victory of the Daleks.
I think that whole jammy Dodger thing was a bit forced. It's like, oh, what can we have instead of jelly babies? A jammy Dodger, right?
Yeah.
I think the music's great.
Yeah.
I wonder when the Cult of Skaro came in.
Did they come in the classic series?
I don't know if I did. I don't think so.
So, yeah, I suppose Doomsday then.
Yeah. Oh, sucker plunger in her. Naughty Daleks. I kind of liked in the new series, like they made a joke of sucker plungers. It's like, what are you gonna do? Sucker me to death? I mean, originally the Dalek sucker plungers were gonna be claws. But suppose they got a block bog, you know, it works fine. I know John Pertwee didn't like the Daleks, like he thought they just looked laughable, but I think Hartnell definitely enjoyed the Daleks. And, you know,
Everybody else seems to like them.
I think he just found them too ridiculous. Like he said, they had an egg whisk and a sucker plunger for a gun, which is stupid. I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, I think the Daleks are my favorite. They're my favorite Doctor Who enemy. I mean, it's kind of the obvious choice, but just the design's so iconic and the voices. And
they just have the most impact.
Yeah, I mean, Davros is my favorite villain, but the Daleks are my favorite enemies. Like,
I suppose you could say Davros and the Daleks, really, because they kind of he created them. So
I think after the Daleks, probably the Cybermen have had the biggest impact.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then the Master, I mean the Mistress, which is bullshit.
Oh, Missy, a missed opportunity, more like.
Yeah, that's what I said to Louis. I think they should give the Daleks a rest in the new series, like maybe a 4 or 5 year break.
No, that won't happen.
Because of the Terry-Nation estate. I think this scene's quite impressive when they're cutting through the door. The scene where they're cutting through the door with the blowtorch, it's quite impressive.
Are you sure?
Yes. Chesterton, we're not able to get you into the lift.
Chesterton.
We're not going without you.
Oh, come on, it's right.
No.
Go!
Gold! I really like William Hartnell's outfit as well. Like, it's very like sort of Victorian, like Edwardian.
Like there's an old-fashioned sense about him, but I just love the fact that he's odd. Like,
yeah. And I loved Adventure in Time and Space when they showed you behind the scenes when the Doctor and stuff first met the Daleks. This stuff here is quite cool with the Dalek blowtorch, like on the left. Exterminate!
I mean, we don't see much of that anymore. The Daleks cutting through the doors.
Yeah. William Hartnell, I think his Doctor encountered the Daleks the most. Like after this story, they had like one every season. William Hartnell, like the Daleks invasion of Earth, the chase, and the Daleks master plan, which is mostly missing.
Mm. It is nearly complete. Where did Ian go?
Was that a piss?
Where did Ian go?
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Oh, he's in the lift.
Oh, right.
He went down the pub. Imagine if Daleks had like a pub, Dalek pub or something.
That's the slowest lift in the world.
Yeah. Well, it is a Dalek lift.
Daleks.
We're in the Empire State Building.
Recognize the street sweeping alarm.
It's so different from above. Do you see anything at all that looks...
What is it?
Is it me or just like Barbara's shirt look like it's back to front? Like there's buttons on the back of her shirt.
It does, yeah, actually. I've only just realised that. You're right.
It's like she has a back to front shirt.
A human being.
Human being? Man?
Into an ambush.
Make no attempt to capture them. They are to be exterminated. You understand? Exterminated. I understand.
Yeah, and of course that would become their catchphrase.
Okay.
Exterminate.
And the listening's darker.
I mean, when it comes to Dalek voices, I think when they brought the Daleks back for John Pertwee's first story, the Dalek voices in there were crap. But I think the Dalek voices, I mean, I prefer the sort of classic voices because they were sort of the original.
Would you say this story is one of your favourite Dalek stories?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Genesis would probably be my favorite. I really love Power of the Daleks with Patrick Troughton, and Evil of the Daleks is quite good, where you first meet the Dalek Emperor and Dalek Invasion of Earth. I mean, most of the Dalek stories from the 60s and 70s are pretty good. Like Dalek Invasion of Earth is great because we see the Daleks for the first time invade planet Earth, and like they've already conquered it. And the chase is, I really like the chase. That's quite fun because we see the Daleks like, chase the Doctor in a time machine across time and space.
Yeah.
And the chase is Alan's favorite Hartnell story.
Cutting down the old. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, lift down.
Doctor Who. But I think the Files, their outfits are quite. They're quite good. I mean, they're quite weird looking, but
Yeah. Like, we haven't really seen them much in this story so far.
well, they're not really the main focus.
We are now officially nearly like halfway through this story.
Yeah.
Coldly worded. Friendship grows with time.
Time.
Must have believed that they were the only survivors. They were relieved when they out, or were they shocked and horrified, perhaps insanely jealous, with no reason to say that.
It's interesting that that the Daleks trick the Files.
Unfair. I just had an instinct. Listen, we must find a new system of food. Daleks have it. They've offered it.
Glorious food.
Food, food, glorious food.
It's right that I should do so often these suspicions.
Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb.
Lisa, could I have some more?
They'll see that I'm
Oh,
Exterminate.
kind of figured that.
Yes. If they really want to use this.
Would you like some tea?
Would you like a jelly baby?
I am your servant.
I
Yeah.
am your soldier.
They ripped that off part of the Daleks. I mean, the Daleks are really devious. I mean, it's interesting because the 60s, I think, had the most Dalek stories. You had 6 Dalek stories during the 60s, 4 with Hartnell and 2 with Troughton.
Well, actually, could you say, obviously including New Who, would you say like David Tennant probably had more Dalek stories, and Matt Smith as well?
Well, Tennant had Doomsday, he had Evolution, and he had Stolen Earth Journey's End, which is 3. Hartnell had 4 Dalek stories, so I think he had the most.
Oh, fair enough.
But the doctors are afoot.
I mean, Hartnell. The Daleks' master plan is 12 parts.
Do as I say. You go with your grandfather.
Don't you understand? I know what he means. Stands a much better chance on his own if he doesn't have us to worry about. Now, come on. We'll wait for you.
I'll be there. Good luck, Tress. Thank you. Go on.
Young man. Yeah. I like the I just like the way the corridors all look the same. Big maze. Dogs are ready to kill. I don't want to be the tin dog.
I'm not the tin dog, and I want to see what's out there.
Daleks, the Thal people wish to live in peace. If this is your wish too, then let us work together to rebuild our world. We need your help, and in return, we'll make the soil live again. Grow crops, build homes. The time for enmity is past.
Daleks do not negotiate.
Yeah.
The kind of future that you want.
Fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
WTF.
We shall go on and wait. No! It's a trap! Get out of here! Run!
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Imagine if Akbar just came in.
Yeah.
Little pals. I like that shot of that guy hiding while the Daleks are coming through the door. You can tell the cheese wheels are fake.
Nope.
Alan, you were the man who warned us. Yes, I'm sorry I was late. Yes, I need to tell us it's dead. I know, I saw it. Why kill him? They didn't even know him. We can't stand here discussing it. Get yourself and your men away from here. Come on. I know, I saw it. Why kill him? They didn't even know him. We can't stand here. Men away from here. Come on.
Oh.
Got 7 minutes left.
Blimey.
There's the fit blonde.
You know, these records.
This story is just going quickly and quickly. It's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, nonsense, young lady. Your survivalist is all here.
Young lady, you're pretty fit.
Yes. Skylar.
I would like to rattle around in my TARDIS.
and this
Each of his nurse.
Geronimo!
Geron in there.
Oh, you have records of other systems?
Yes. But
Alonzi?
of course, we were only able to map out as far as our legiscopes allowed.
Yes, I see.
You like my dicky baby?
I might be able to fix her position.
Ollie's like, would you like my dicky baby?
Oh, God.
Yes. Yes, absorbing. Most absorbing.
Why have the milkman come to my door when I can get the milk for free?
For 2 reasons I let you in the TARDIS.
Because they couldn't come out of the city.
And they called me an alien. I'm so human. Well, he's dead.
The foul woman. Wow, wow.
Meow.
around the other side of the city. Was he badly hurt? It's his shoulder.
I'll get some ointment for some of the burn. Oh, we've got some in the ship. There's some over here.
Exterminate! Exterminate!
Would you like some lotion on that?
These are the people the Daleks were holding prisoner.
Try to go back to
This is the man who shouted to warn us. Thank you.
These are the people the Daleks were holding.
Did the others
Ian's really brave. He's such a courageous guy.
The rest of us escaped.
Yeah,
Burns,
I really like Ian.
Did the others get away?
He's a strong character. I think he actually proves the Doctor wrong. He proves his worth to the Doctor.
Yeah. I like Barbara as well. She's quite strong as well, even though she is.
If only I could find I knew that. I could alter our approach to them.
It's interesting because the Plows are sort of given up more at this point. They're sort of they're pacifists.
Reasonable human
Yeah.
beings would have responded to it. The
They
Daleks,
don't want to fight.
they obviously think and act and feel in an entirely different way. They just aren't human.
But why destroy without any apparent thought or reason? That's what I don't understand.
No, there's a reason. Explanation might be better. It's stupid and ridiculous, but it's the only one that fits. What? The dislike for the unlike.
Yeah.
Explanation might be better.
I don't follow you.
Weird and ridiculous.
They're afraid of you because you're different from them.
Dislike.
So whatever you do, it doesn't matter.
Well, what do you have?
They're afraid of you because you're different from them.
You must teach them to respect you.
Doesn't matter.
Strength.
I didn't say that. But you must teach them to respect you.
Yes?
Tell them.
I think it may have to come to that.
You understand as little about us as the Daleks do.
You understand as little about the Daleks.
Listen, if they came up here and attacked you, we would
What would
go
you
to our planet where we came from.
take them up here and attack you? Go away back to our planet.
Let's see run away.
Coward!
Halligan, you can't go on running away.
Get the guns out! Get Arnold Schwarzenegger in! Get a Terminator!
Say hello to my little friend, you Daleks.
Say hello to my little friend.
Get to the TARDIS.
Destroy you if they can.
I can see you want to help us.
Hasta la vista, Dalek.
There could never be any question of the Thals fighting the Daleks.
Ian! Arnold Schwarzenegger is the next Doctor. Yeah. Trust me, I'm the Doctor.
I'm back again.
I told you I'd be back, motherfucker.
Video on YouTube, it's really funny where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's with David Cameron. He's like, I'm with my good friend here, ex-Prime Minister David Cameron. It's real. I was just laughing. So David Cameron's like, I will be back.
Look here. This is these people's ancestors.
Whatever I said, whatever I didn't mean it.
Most died in survival
I
mutation.
just want you
In
back
the
to
case of the
do.
Thals, mutation came round in full circle, then refined itself into what you see. You mean this became? Yes, yes. It took hundreds of years, of course. In the second example, our recent host, the mutation has not completed its full circle. Why, I don't know. Do you know that monstrosity with regard to the machine? Yes. There. Original Dalek. Yes, they called them Dows then. Oh, it's all there, every moment of it, it's Darwin history. Minutely, but brilliantly recorded.
There's dolls in this story, but
Sword.
they be collides and Genesis of the Daleks.
Undoubtedly.
Yes, this is getting much better.
Oh, I'd be glad to hear he's improving. Well, now, I'm sure you'll agree.
I love how Hartnell's always like holding his jacket.
Oh, Grandpa,
Like,
couldn't we stay a bit longer than
Is that he's sort of proud. He's like proud and he's in charge. And I like that. You know, it's just a little thing, but the way he does it, it kind of says a lot about his Doctor.
Yeah, Capaldi does it in some. Well, when he was announced as a Doctor, he did the lapels thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're opposed to fighting.
Yeah, I think Capaldi did it once, as far as I remember.
Necessity for their own survival.
I can't remember which story though.
Capaldi. Hartnell was the first Doctor. I mean, he said Pertwee's his favourite, but he said he saw the first story and he grew up watching Hartnell and Troughton and Pertwee and Pinker. And, you know, I mean, I think Capaldi has enormous respect for Hartnell.
I can't stop the ship without it.
You lost it. Ian, you can't have.
No. The Daleks took it from me when they searched me. It's down there somewhere. In the city.
So they have to go into the city. What is it he lost again?
I don't know. Oh, it was the Mercury link. Yeah. It was the TARDIS. The expedition. Ooh.
This story just gets so much more intense as it goes on. So that was the end of part 4. That was really good. That one, Ambush, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, directed by Christopher Barry again.
You can really see the characters taking charge now. You know, the beginnings of this story, they were very much afraid of what was going on. But now Ian's taking charge, the Doctor's back in charge again, and even Barbara and Susan are overcoming fear again. So that's great. So there's a great progression. It's part 5.
Yeah.
The Inquisition.
More than halfway through.
Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
We're 2/3 of the way through.
I mean, the episodes are only 20 minutes long each.
Yeah. Yeah, 25 minutes an episode.
Can't have.
No. The Daleks took it from me when they searched me.
No.
It must be down there.
You stupid boy! You fucking cunt!
You fucking prut!
You fucking cock boy! You lost it! You lost it! Damn you! Damn you, boy! Rue this day!
Fuck you, penis! Imagine Sean Connery as the Doctor.
I will say when we go outside. I will say when we open the doors.
Oh, Barbara. Do you want me to show you my sonic screwdriver?
What's there to screw?
So work will not be interrupted. Have you processed the pictures appearing now on frequency 6? Is the elder prisoner?
Do they not know that he's the Doctor?
The girl and the
Yeah.
young woman.
No, they don't know yet, because this is the first story.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The young man. If so, he has been injured. Chauffeured.
Yeah?
They have made contact with the ball. It is logical that together they will attack us.
No. And that is my final word. Be careful what you're doing up there, Susan.
It's all right, Mr. Gibson. Quick, safe.
Oh, good. I've tried everything I know. They just won't risk a fight with the Daleks. Trouble is, I can't go too far.
What do you mean?
Well, why
So
should
they can't get home without this
Some of them
Mercury thingy.
What argument can you use to make a man sacrifice himself?
Yeah.
Ian, you don't seem
Like
to
the thing that the Daleks took off of him. Is it that little piece? Is it that little object that the Doctor was holding earlier?
Well, you know they will.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't quite hear that, but I'll take that as a yes.
So, yeah, it is, yeah.
All right.
I will not ask the past to sacrifice themselves for us. I'm sorry, Barbara. I just can't do it.
Ian, why
I quite like the conflict here.
Any luck, Grandfather? Well, have you made another play of ink?
No, I can't, my child. I go through all my spares. I really discovered when you need some mercury. I must get that for you.
That stupid fucking cock of a man. Left it behind.
My call to Providence, Jessamine.
Stupid boy.
But don't worry about it now, Doctor.
Needs to get laid.
Well, I will be if you don't get my name right.
You think you're such a wise ass, don't you? But you're in travelling in my ship. And my rules.
But I will be if you don't get my name right.
Oh, you young lady, I haven't been wasting my time. It's all was away.
He calls him Chatterton instead of Chesterton.
Cheetah.
It's always away.
Really made army here.
My prize very highly. Well, guys, of course, cannot see it against the dark.
Interesting the conflict he has to do this.
That's all right, young man. The mind will always try. How is a man to succeed?
How many minutes are you in?
My dear child, this is no time for morals. They must fight. Why? Oh,
My dear child.
My dear child, this is no time for morals. They must fight for us. Why? Oh, my dear young man. I do hope you're not going to be difficult.
Young man.
The unconscious.
Yes, I am.
It's just common sense. Lady, I've been underestimating you. I will not allow you to use that house to fight for us. Are you challenging me? Yes, I am.
I quite like this.
Of course you do.
Ian doesn't want to get the Fowls to fight for them.
And he says he underestimated Barbara.
Yeah. You sort of see Ian's torn by this.
It must have nothing whatsoever to do with us.
We must help the Fowls.
Exactly.
Doing.
We need action on our friends.
We need action, man.
Now, you two. What victory are you going to show?
Oh, my.
Man.
Is this what you're going to hold up to them and say, thank you very much. This is what you fought and died for.
Fluid link.
That's what we got to find out.
Are they just against fighting?
How can we find out?
Well, I've got an idea. But whatever I do, don't interfere. I'm not even sure that I'm right.
I like this bit.
Well, see what happens. Strange young man.
That's right. Yes, he is.
Strange young man.
Has he ever had a shag?
Has he ever had a shave? Down on the pubic area.
Finger to help you. We will not fight.
Grow some balls, Chesterton.
Look at our planet. This was once a great world.
So it's not entirely true that the Doctor's against violence.
In one day.
No, I mean he's killed people before with guns in the classic show.
So I guess that makes him kind of a hypocrite by saying that he doesn't like guns and everything.
You stand
He
here.
only kills when it was absolutely necessary.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. You carry this around with you. Your history reports. Well, it must be valuable to you. Supposing I take it down to the city and try and trade with the Daleks, eh?
Oh.
Perhaps they valuable enough to exchange for our fluid link.
You fucking prick!
You really are a crafty little shit. Chesterton, you're grounded. You're grounded, boy. Go to your room.
Chatterton! Get me some cheddar, Chatterton.
The Daleks are more interested in
Cheddar cheese.
Maybe they were holding us to experiment on us. I could take them an alternative.
Oh! Oh, no, not the sexy one, Chatterton. I like this bit where he's sort of conflicted.
Oh, gosh.
So there is something you'll fight for.
You'll fight for the pussy. You'll fight for two reasons.
Help! Cannot control! Cannot control! Help me! Help me! Help!
Help me.
I like this shot here with the Dalek pupils seeing the other Daleks. Like sort of going crazy.
Yeah, like going mad. I've never seen a Dalek go that mental.
It's funny, in depth to the Daleks, one of the humans escapes. It's like, human prisoner has escaped. I have failed. Human prisoner has escaped. I have failed. Self-destruct. I have failed. I have failed.
Announcement. This is control. All distribution of the anti-radiation drug is to be stopped immediately. The Dalek race has become conditioned to radiation.
Oh.
But if you are right, we are in danger. All Daleks in Section 3 are dying. They must be examined immediately.
Oh, so that's why he was going crazy, because of the radiation.
No, I don't think it got enough radiation.
And we cannot delay. But what are we to do?
It's interesting that Bob would cut out to the Daleks in the background.
Radiation to survive, so we must increase our supply
Oh,
of
right.
radiation.
Yeah.
But there
Need
is
radiation
only
to
one
survive.
way to do that. Exactly. We may have to
I think the cardboard clouds and the Daleks are quite obvious, but they're good. Already 9 minutes of depart. What's this? 6? 5? Sorry. Yeah.
Is this part 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4. 5. Oh, what's Sexy doing? Ooh. Ooh, young woman, do you want to come over here? Ooh.
Me you should be flirting with.
Are you angry with yourself for striking me, young man?
No, I knew he was trying to make me do it. I still couldn't stop myself.
I need a drop pussy.
Despise me for hitting them.
It was worth fighting
If you
for.
hadn't fought him, I think I would have hated you.
I knew he wouldn't really take you and give you to the Daleks.
Fuck her, let's have a sex scene.
I wish Timothy's were here.
Love is in the
What would he
air,
have said, Doctor?
every
Which is
sight
the most
and every
important?
sound.
That's a Dr. Dalek porno.
Or to die without fighting.
Oh, yes. Come with me.
I'll get up my sucker plunger. Oh, it's erect.
Ready and erect at your service.
My sucker plunger is at full height.
I have been probed. Explain.
Daleks do not feel love.
Paladin decides not to help us. Well, we'll have to
You're
wait
the
till
first Time Lord I've met, Doctor.
Was that
You're the
license
first
down?
Dalek I've fucked.
Reflection
What?
of the city, I suppose.
No, the lake. Some sort of chemical in the water that makes it glow.
Anyone for Dodgems?
Down.
Yes. There's horror down there in the swamp.
It's interesting that this guy sort of fallen in love with Barbara, but she's not interested.
Only my brother and I came back.
I think she likes Ian more.
Yeah.
We found
Ian's a bit braver.
one of them.
He likes a bit of that
The lake is
Ian.
Plus, you know, he is human. I think
Yeah.
that helps.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't know what he's got down there.
Could have anything in his trousers.
This far away. I wonder the Daleks haven't cleaned it out, killed everything.
Why should they?
Daleks have no concept of cleanliness.
This guy actually looks a bit like Bob Holmes, a writer for the classic stuff, but a bit younger. I like this shot here of the Dalek sucker plunger in the eye view. It's well done.
Oh yeah, that is a good shot.
Radiation from distribution being stopped. Yes, only Daleks in Section 2 and 3 received it.
Daleks wants to kill.
Section 3 have now died.
The voice sounds a little bit different there.
Daleks in Section
Yeah,
2
there's
of
more than one guy doing the voice.
the chamber.
Ah, right.
We will direct the air polluted by radiation away from the nuclear reactor into the sonic.
Fucking Dalek, fucking pricks.
Do not die. We shall have our answer. But if we need radiation, we can never rebuild the world outside. We do not have to adapt to the environment. We will change the environment to suit us.
Oh.
Yeah, because it is their home planet as well.
I have
So.
one question to ask you. If we do not help you, what will you do?
I'll fuck your bird. Mm.
Take back our lost equipment. You see, we cannot stand by and let these people die. If we do not help them, it would be the same as if we had killed them ourselves. But the way I have reasoned is this. The Daleks are strong, and they hate us. And I'm sure they will find a way to come out of their city and kill us. So it's not merely a question of whether we go off in a vain search for food and, in all probability, starve to death. We face death now. In the city is enough food for all of us and all of the Daleks.
They're all sort of blonde Aryans, sort of like Hitler's.
My conclusion is this.
So they're all pure.
There is a terrible shame in being afraid to live.
No point in living if you can't feel the life.
My reasons? Then let me go with these.
Yes! Oh, yes!
Select a new chief.
Can you imagine Brolson as a Dalek? I obey!
Exterminate!
Let's start at once.
Oh my, Doctor. Oh my.
I'm looking for the doctor.
You knew what my decision would be.
Well, you found him, you little penis.
If we get this intelligent...
You really are a little cock,
we shall
Chesterton.
succeed. Let's see.
Losing the equipment. It was all you. I curse you, boy. You rue this day.
The swamp.
I name you Chesterton. You forever the destroyer of the TARDIS.
The lake is inhabited by all sorts of strange creatures. Can we get in?
I quite like this when they have to journey out into the swamp.
That swamp. We can't go through the swamp. It's too dangerous. It is dangerous.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Last night when I was talking to Barbara.
Somebody went
Yeah, I know, but I mean the Daleks will...
Hey now, you're a doctor.
Get the TARDIS. Like all around time and space. You don't think that you are a waste of space.
The others to try and force a way through the mountains. Yes, I think that's the best. Are we all agreed? Yes.
Are we all agreed? Well, fuck yourselves.
I'll start by fucking you dirty blonde. Come here, you. I've got 2 hearts. They'll race twice as fast as yours.
Rest assured, this old dick of mine is wearing a bit thin.
Got a slight stiffness coming on.
Has this group broken away?
What has happened?
I just realized we're on an episode of Doctor Who.
The figures are coming through on the radiation treatment. Discontinue laser scope. There is an improvement, except for one serious case. All Daleks in section 2.
Less than 10 minutes left.
Recovery. Then our position is clear. For us, the drug is a poison. And radiation is still necessary to us. Essential.
I really like the look of the spaceship. Well, of the Dalek City, sorry.
Our stock of nuclear materials. I got an estimate of the amount of
These Daleks were silver and blue.
nuclear reactor.
Hello, Shrek. Hello.
Ogres are like onions.
They have layers.
It's all right, donkey. I'm right here beside you.
Oh my God! This giant green snot.
We'll just tackle this one little baby step at a time.
But the others don't.
Really, really.
We find a way through the mountains.
Lord Farquaad.
Lord Fuckwad.
It's your duty to tell them. We watched the others.
Lord Farquaad.
You and I ran in terror when they were down. We go on Exodus.
We're going on a bear
I know
hunt.
what you're upsetting the others. Is that clear? Yes. But is it? Yes.
Oh dear. We do have a problem.
This is the swamp. From now on, it's going to be rather uncomfortable. Yes, I see what you mean. The ground's very uneven. Sometimes rocky, sometimes thick mud. I think it'd be a wise splash.
Swamp buddies.
Yes. Today is to go through the mountains to the city, if there is a way through.
Penis, why don't you just fucking eat it?
I'd be more surprised if I could have stopped her. How you doing?
Fine.
It's interesting because, like, at this point, we don't know the Doctor can regenerate and they haven't introduced it yet. Can you imagine if
Oh, once we get through this,
it was kind of interesting because the first Doctor is basically towards the end of his
days we've got to
first life generation.
Rest.
We'll keep up with the others. They'll be breaking camp soon.
Ooh, you're trudging through the swamp.
Where you put your feet? Right.
We're gone through the swamp. Oh, he just killed the wildlife. You just made that species extinct.
Yes.
Oh god, could you imagine it was like Homer, like where he goes back in time and the toaster steps on a bug and like ruins the whole timeline?
Yeah, and then it's raining donuts.
Might stop some of these.
Homie.
Don't!
Bark. Bark.
Hey! Jump, jump.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. What the fuck is that?
Jump. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is creepy.
What did you say? Yes, it was a Christmas. Stand guard here, will you? Right.
Hi, everybody.
We'll take the first watch between us.
What's the name of the group of people again?
But I think you two Earth people should get as much sleep as possible.
What do they call these people?
No, the people who are helping them. What are they called again?
So for years,
Fowls.
Or the fowls.
left our own plateau and searched
Yeah.
for
Fair enough.
Almost forgotten what it was like to stay in one place and enjoy it. I suppose there'll be an end to it one day.
Ugh.
Only a few minutes left.
Oh. Yeah, it's starting to slow down a little bit this part. They're just in the jungle.
I don't mind it. Oh.
Time to move, my friend.
Dr. George of the Jungle.
Yes. Why didn't you wake me? What's the matter? Come and see what I found by the lake. Right. Hold on, I'll come with you.
Come along, young man. Come along.
Like a spring mattress.
What did you see? Remember that? Right. The Daleks do get their water from the lake. We'll have to get to the city from there. Well, it must be the way.
I mean, it's interesting the Daleks city would change a lot from what it looks like in Genesis of the Daleks.
I'm sorry?
It's interesting the Dalek city looks a lot different from what it looks like in Genesis of the Daleks, but it was quite cool. The Magician's Apprentice was familiar with the Dalek city, and it looked like the original Dalek city.
Yeah. Funny how the Doctor never realizes until it's pointed out that he's on Skaro.
And there's no point in trying to cross the lake, you think? No.
He never seems to recognize it.
No, he's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, think how long it would take.
Oh wow.
They don't really explain how there's still life on Skaro because the Doctor destroys the sun of Skaro at the end of Remembrance of the Daleks.
So we can
Mm.
Maybe, with a bit of luck, eh? Thanks.
They never explain how Skaro came back in the new series.
Come and fill the water bags. It won't be long.
Continuity error.
Moffat lazy writing. Always gotta have a skinny dip.
Oh, I see how it is.
Oh, what's a good effect? Whirlpool. Some kind of void whirlpool thing.
good.
There's two
That
more.
was part 5. That's not Part 6, The Ordeal. I actually like the logo as well. It's just simple.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just sort of text, but yeah, the logo, yeah.
And they've obviously changed it a lot since then. 50 years on.
Yeah. Oh shit, somebody's in trouble. The Ordeal. Written by Terry Nation.
Terry Nation wrote all 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Although there's a different... I think Christopher Barry directed most of the episodes, but Richard Martin directed a couple, I think.
Oh, fuck.
Morris Hussein directed the first story, Indian director.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do here.
Ian,
They've just come for this one little piece of fucking metal.
Yeah.
Damn you, Chesterton. Damn you.
Oh, no, they're going through the swamp so they can get to the Dalek city.
Yeah.
What happened? It must have happened very quickly.
Could you imagine Macaulay Culkin home alone with Daleks?
We must reach the
I'm
cliffs
gonna-
by tonight.
You guys give up, or are you thirsty for more?
Dome alone.
God. Yeah, it's
Exterminate Macaulay Culkin.
like Home Alone 2 if he flew to Skaro instead.
Boston Scarrow.
Macaulay Culkin finds out he's a Dalek.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
oh, that's right. There's John there.
Angels with filthy souls.
I'm trying to get down.
From the little glasses that the doctor's wearing.
Put out of action is the
Radio and television waves.
They've obviously got
Complete coverage in the Grand City. And they don't leave much to chance.
I like the way Susan's quite protective of her grandfather, of the Doctor.
And then we must stop the pictures of the
That's what families are for.
We are family. We are. We are.
wish I knew what they were.
Remind me of that crap. Ice Age 4.
Can you imagine William Hartnell? We are family.
Let us hear it. Report on neutron bomb to cover 500 square miles. Time to construct 23 days. Is that the shortest possible time? Yes. Very well.
Very
Too
well.
long. We must abandon the idea of a neutron bomb. We must find another way of spreading radiation. Getting narrower.
Oh, it's like all the other caves. tailed off into a dead end.
There's a gloomy thought for you.
I wonder if Ian's doing any better.
When did we arrange to meet him and the others?
Oh, we ought to be going back now.
Oh, I'm sure this isn't possible for us.
Quite like this stuff in the cave.
It's all very dark and intense. Like throughout each part, there's been a constant tension, which I've really impressed with actually. It's a long story, and you'd expect at least one of the parts to fall flat, but none of them have actually.
Pacing has been pretty consistent.
Mm. And the Daleks have been there since, well, the first part.
Yeah, the end of the first part, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that won't be easy.
Barbara, as in Barbara Windsor. Get out of my pub.
What's that?
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Meet the Daleks.
Oh, God.
No, I don't.
Meet the Daleks, little Daleks. I like the camaraderie between Barbara and this guy.
Mm.
Be a drop of about 30 feet or so. I'm going down.
Well, be careful.
Yeah, as soon as you say be careful, you know it's going to end badly.
Not necessarily.
Well, he might die.
He might fucking, I don't know, regenerate. Lol. Imagine the Doctor regenerated every episode.
Ready?
That would get very boring. Lose the idea that it could refresh itself.
Yeah. It's like if one series of 13 episodes, 13 Doctors in one series.
Well, it'd be interesting, but at the same time, it'd be like really repetitive.
Yeah. It'd be dumb. Oh shit!
Well, he's dead. Oh no.
No. I thought he just got up and then a rock fell on him.
Barbara! All right, listen! Are you hurt?
No, I'm not. My brother hurt.
This is a Muppet story everybody would live.
The rope ended.
Barbara! Are you sure you're all right?
Yes.
You know what's ridiculous?
Okay!
What happened to Barbara?
Hang on a minute!
You know what's ridiculous? There was a BBC poll that came out recently, like yesterday, and apparently Sherlock Holmes has been voted the BBC's best character in the world.
This seems a bad
That's Doctor Who's second, and I'm just saying to myself, but Sherlock wasn't created by the BBC. That's not their character. It's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's books.
Yeah, exactly.
Sherlock's overrated.
Vastly. I'm not watching the new series of it. It just doesn't interest me.
Yeah. And Benedict Cucumber Patch, you know.
Yeah. I think he's a perfectly decent actor, but he is overrated.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he is good for what he's done, but he doesn't deserve all the hype that he's getting, though.
He deserves a fucking slap. A flat slap pancake from my hand.
We can't keep up this light reflection for long. Never mind. Gives us a better chance to get into the city unnoticed.
Can't be sure.
It's quite funny.
It's risky, but
William Hartnell says in the Daleks Master's plan, no, sorry, in the Dalek invasion of Earth to
Doctor, look.
when like she nearly breaks her ankle, he says like, "What you need is a jolly good smack bottom."
Well, you go ahead. Go on.
All right, you're going the right way for a smack bottom.
You'll show them a thing or two.
Show them a thing or two.
So far, so good.
I like this shot of the tunnel.
We're broadly out of it.
It's good how this story is able to go to various different places. Like they're in they one time they're captured in the prison, and they're in the TARDIS, and then they're with the Fowls in their camp, and now they're underground in the tunnels. There's so many. The production values are much more interesting this time because they go to more places. With the first story, it is good, but they are stuck in a cave for most of it. But it is the first story, so I'll let it off.
I want to go.
I want to go home.
I mean, this was a story that made Doctor Who a phenomenon. You know, the Daleks,
But all the time we'll be trapped in the mountain.
phenomenal. You know, the Daleks were huge.
You can't. You don't really need me. Not really. I could go back and signal to the others that we've managed to get as far as we have. And because we don't want together. What? Are you making me do all these things? Even if we do get through, we'll never defeat the Daleks.
Oh.
Daleks. We're all going to be killed. We can't turn back now. The others can't. But we could. Listen, they're going to die anyway. We could just go back and tell the others that the Daleks killed them. What are you talking about? You must go back. I'm not going. Oh, you must.
It's interesting, they're brothers.
I'm sorry, I got it.
It's interesting that after Destiny of the Daleks in 1979, Terry Nation wouldn't write any more Dalek stories.
Oh, really?
Very brave.
Yeah, all the Dalek stories in the 80s were written by different writers, the 3 Dalek stories.
We can't go back the way we came.
Funny enough, they all begin with R, Resurrection, Revelation, and Remembrance of the Daleks.
Emergency! Emergency! Reaction on the vibroscopes. Where? Section 15. City Red.
Section 15.
Direct the radioscopes now.
Exterminate them.
I never
Exterminate.
can take the flight supplies.
It's interesting. Hartnell's second story had the Daleks, and his last story had the Cybermen.
Grandfather, look. Is this what you want?
The Cybermen was Hartnell's last story.
The whole city was powered by static electricity. Well, how do you know that?
Static electricity? God, blimey.
Here, there.
Yeah, the Daleks need electricity to move around.
That must be the answer.
Well, it leads up to the antennae.
Well, it certainly goes in that direction. I can't see it all.
Oh yes, they can get Sky movies.
Isn't it? Well, that's it. Look, it slides up.
Good girl. Now just take it off there. That's it. Now, look up.
Thing is, how are we going to cut the wire now, I suppose, without getting a terrific shot?
Look, we can't wait around here too long. No, just a minute. Now, you go and tell your friends to stop flashing the light on the antennae. Because for all we know, the Daleks might have a beam to throw on them, paralyze them, kill them. But I can't leave you two here. Oh, we should be all right. Now, go along. Tell them to move their position from time to time. Now, hurry, please. Very well, then, but don't waste time here. I'll come back for you. Yes. We should be back before then. Now, go.
Now fuck off.
Fuck off, you cock.
Now, I tell you what.
Dumb cock.
We'll short-circuit it to another conductor. Let me have the key.
Shriveled up old dick.
Oh, what a good idea,
Yes. I can always make another one.
Yes, of course.
How did it say?
I love Hartnell. He's just so enthusiastic. Like, you know, you could tell he's having a ball doing it.
He throws himself into the role, and their relationship is really nice. Like you can tell that he's like a proper guardian to her grandfather.
Yeah. And she's quite protective of him as well because he's older.
And she wants to look after him as well.
It's interesting, like, could you imagine if she stayed on with Triton? Like, Triton would have only been a couple of decades older than her, you know.
It may have been a bit weird, actually, seeing her with Troughton.
Yeah, I mean, an uncle and a grandfather. Uh-oh.
Oh?
I just like the way Ian sort of takes charge in certain situations, like he sort of stands up to the Doctor.
Yeah.
Place for a quiet stroll, is it? It looks pretty wide. Sand deep. Well, you might as well take a rest while we sort this one out.
Yeah, Louis went to see like the Batman tonight.
Oh, did he? Oh, nice.
There's no foothold at all on this side.
I might try and see it next week.
Edge over there.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I mean, it's funny. It's good fun.
Everything is Batman.
Flat and rock face there. Yes, I think you're right. We'll have to get over there.
Oh, imagine if they re-released some of these classic episodes in the cinema. That'd be great.
Yeah. Like Genesis of the Daleks, I would watch that, or Deadly Assassin.
Well, they should have had, because they released Day of the Doctor in cinemas, like on the day it was aired. They should have done the same with the Unearthly Child. Should have done it in a double bill, like in a cinema screening. Watch an Unearthly Child and the Day of the Doctor after that. You know, that would have been great.
They did this. They did the same with Deep Breath. They showed that in cinema.
Yeah, they showed Deep Breath in cinema, but I didn't see any of it in the cinema because at the time I thought, why would I pay to go and see it when I can watch it for free at home?
Yeah, I couldn't get any tickets.
Yeah, I mean, if there's another Doctor Who cinema screening, I might go now because I can actually afford it now.
I don't think they will do it again.
Yeah, they probably won't until the next sort of big anniversary special comes along.
I hope the next anniversary special is more of an anniversary celebration than the Day of the Doctor. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't hate the episode, but I think if when they're doing the 60th, they should bring back, you know, the older Doctors.
Yeah. I mean, on reflection, I don't think the episode is as good as I remember, but I still think it's funny. It's a good amount of fun, but it could have paid more homage to the classic series. It was very New Who referenced. I mean, they had all the Doctors at the end, but even so, that's not really enough.
Yeah, I think a lot of the classic Doctors felt left out. Like, even though I don't like Colin Baker, I could kind of understand him being pissed off. Like, he said that he was a bit pissed off that he wasn't asked back, and like none of the others were. The only one that was Tom Baker, but he was only in it for like a minute. I mean,
yeah. Well, at least he was in it, I suppose.
Yeah.
At least he had the scene, you know. Like the other ones who were just there at the end, were like photoshopped in at the very end.
Yeah. Bad CGI, by the way, that ending.
Yeah, it was alright. It seemed worse. Seemed better as well. But...
Take a good look.
You know what was worse than the Day of the Doctor? That live show they had afterwards with all the companions where they just made them.
I think what would have made Day of the Doctor better as well was also having Paul McGann with the other Doctors as well.
Yeah, I mean, they had Night of the Doctor, which was a few minutes long. Like, why couldn't you have incorporated him? I mean, originally, before they were going to get John Hurt, they were going to get Christopher Eccleston. So they were trying to make like a new series version of the three Doctors, which I don't think would have worked.
No, I mean, like you could still have John Hurt, fair enough, but you could also have Paul McGann in it as well. It would be nice. The ideal, obviously, in an ideal world, they would have had like all of the Doctors in that story together. but for obvious reasons they couldn't do that. And they had Capaldi in it, which was good. He had his close-ups.
Some people say you couldn't do it with, with too many doctors, but I think you could. Like, you could have had doctors 4 to 7 around a console, giving the other doctors advice on what to do.
Why not? Why the fuck not? It's the perfect time to do it.
Yeah. I just think they should bring back some of the old companions, like Ace and some of the Baker companions like Romana. It would be great if she came back, because I'm really watching Key to Time, and Romana's great. Yeah. Exterminate.
Atmosphere will be bombarded by the radiation from a nuclear.
I like the camera angles, like shooting the Daleks from down below makes them look more powerful.
Extermination. But you must listen to reason, please. You must. Without radiation,
You must listen to reason.
The Dalek race is ended. We need it as you and the fowls need air. Tomorrow, we need
Nazi sucker cups. I mean, this is quite tense, like jumping that ravine or whatever it is, that chasm.
Oh, I thought I would break it.
You did well. Just get your breath back for a minute.
I'm all right.
Barbara, ooh.
Ian?
Oh, no, not that way. Stay still. Give me your other hand. You better come back. Now, swing.
He's such a good guy, Ian. Oh, we like Ian.
Rock.
Yeah. What a lovely bloke.
Reach.
He's fantastic.
Oh, aye.
He's a craggy knob.
Far from it, my son.
I'll tell you, he was a craggy knob. Adam Mitchell from series.
Yeah, he was a bit of a knob. That actor's in Coronation Street now.
Yeah, I know.
He's quite good, actually.
He's a little shit in the Coronation Street as well.
No, he's actually quite good. I think he's alright.
But what I mean is his character's a bit of a shit in Coronation Street as well, though.
Yeah, no, his character's a bit, yeah. I'm slowly liking his character a little bit more than I did when he joined.
Yeah, by the way, Dot's going to die in EastEnders in March.
Dot? Yeah, I know, she's old now, she's 90.
Apparently, she's going to go blind and she's going to die in a car crash.
Oh, that's just... Dot should die peacefully, like Peggy did or Pat. Dot should go off in a car crash.
Yeah, Pat's death was done so well. That was probably the best exit for an EastEnders character.
Yeah, that was sad. Peggy's death was alright.
Peggy's exit was good when she left the Vic, when Phil burnt it down. You should have just left it there.
Yeah. They only brought her back so they could actually kill her off.
I didn't mind Peggy's death. I mean, I think having Pat there, even though she was like big of her imagination, was quite good.
Yeah.
This scene's quite tense because this guy's scared and he needs to jump over the edge.
Good. Now, try and find yourself.
Oh, fuck me, penis. Fuck me.
Well, the EastEnders writers are very trigger happy.
That's a Doctor Who cliffhanger with the EastEnders music.
Yeah. It's been done before.
I wish they would do more two-parters in Doctor Who. I miss the cliffhangers.
Somebody edited a video of the ending of Good Man Goes to War with the EastEnders duff duff at the end. I'm your daughter.
This bit's quite tense. Oh, fuck, he fell!
Help me! Help me!
Oh, fuck!
I can't hold on! I can't hold on!
Where's the rope attached to?
Ian. It's attached to Ian.
Oh, right.
Like, someone fucking help me, lass.
The rescue. Oh. One more part to go. God, it is bloody long.
Yeah, but it's gone pretty fast.
It has, yeah, no, it's gone quickly.
Like the Daleks and the plot and stuff is great.
I might record my review tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll have to review An Unearthly Child as well.
Sorry?
I'll have to review An Unearthly Child tomorrow as well.
Are you going to rewatch it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, 7. The final part.
Yeah, it's funny because in the original intro they had a thunder, a lightning sound effect when they in the pilot of the first story. The original pilot of An Unearthly Child.
We can't hold on. Some powerful performances.
Yeah. I mean, if I was Ian, I wouldn't hesitate cutting the rope. I'd be like, I'm sorry, mate, but I'm going to die here.
Sorry, it's you or me, and I've got more of a chance to survive. Bye.
And then they go with my other hand. Get it! Take the weight of the rope!
A bit like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Too smooth.
Yeah. I can't get a grip!
I can't hold on much longer. Let me go.
Oh, yeah. He decides to cut the rope. Shit.
Oh, ouch. Oh.
Who's his brother? Shit.
You see that Ian feels a bit guilty about that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the city and the other but why do you have to destroy much of your graves? Only one place can survive. What do you say? We shall escape captivity. Go out and rebuild the planet Scarrow.
I think the Daleks chained them up, but they didn't have any arms, so...
Nothing will come outside if you do that. Nothing.
Well, they probably just forced them to go next to the wall. They kind of make a joke of that in The Curse of Fatal Death, where it's like, why do you have chairs in a Dalek spaceship? We will explain later.
This senseless, evil killing.
Fuck.
There's a struggle going on.
Did you look all around?
I think, you know, like I said, when Terry Nation wrote this script, he was a comedy writer initially, and it wasn't until he was out of work that he decided to write the script for this. And he was probably a perfect match for Doctor Who, because he wanted to write other sci-fi shows like the Survivors and the Blake 7.
Yeah. Like I say, he probably didn't see the potential for the show.
Find another way.
It was initially sort of like a program made for children. And like when they first offered him writing the story, because he thought, like, you know, because he was a comedy writer, like he thought like writing for children's TV was like a bit of a disgrace. But I think he sort of realized the potential in the show, and then, you know,
We'll have to go back now. We can't.
I mean, it's interesting because he would write another story this season without the Daleks called The Keys of Marinus.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you stand out is so far in the story?
Where's it coming from?
Who do you think stands out in the cast so far?
I would say William Russell.
Yeah.
But I mean, all four of them have had their moments in this story. But at this particular point, William Russell. But I'd say earlier on, like William Hartnell, Carole Ann Ford, and even Jacqueline Hill, they all had their own moments to stand out.
Oh, what's a sexy one?
You put the devil in me.
No, the doctor.
Mr. Tits for 3 episodes.
The Daleks must have captured them.
It's interesting because in the Peter Cushing movie, yeah, he's called Doctor Who, and he's human, and the pals in that story are they have purple skin.
Yeah.
And the Daleks, instead of shooting lasers, like smoke comes out of their guns. I mean, it's interesting about the 7-part stories because they would have 7-parters up till John Pertwee' first season, and after that they got rid of them. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I think 6 parts is enough. I mean, 7 works though sometimes, like for Inferno, and
Yeah.
but I think 4 parts and 6 parts is sort of enough.
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch to do 7 parts. It's quite a lot, but if it works, then it works. You know, but it isn't long, I think.
The longest story they did was Trial of the Time Lord. That was 14 parts. Colin Baker, which isn't very good.
It's a wonder how they kept the story going for that many episodes.
Well, they sort of split it up into 4 separate storylines, but it's all one big story. Exterminate.
No, it is not what you're doing. Otherwise, I won't explain its secrets to you and its philosophy of movement.
Now we know of the machine, we can examine it for ourselves.
But you can't.
Well, good for you, yeah.
As a solution.
Alex, why don't you fuck yourselves? Mm.
Safety wall, details, discovered is too great. Alert Alex in section 1, the paths are entering the city.
When are they coming?
It's very time.
I think William must sort of stand out because it's focused more on him for these last few parts.
Yeah, because he's taken charge, and because the Doctor's captured, he's sort of leading the forefront, leading the group in.
I mean, what's interesting is he does most of the action parts because William Hartnell is older. But when Harry Sullivan was cast in Robots, they initially thought that Tom Baker was going to be an older Doctor, so they cast a young guy to do the action stuff. But actually, got Tom Baker, who was like 40, so he could do the action things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that sound of the Dalek city. That wow, wow.
Yeah, it's like that general sort of alien ambience that they've got.
And the BBC Radiophonic Workshop did some great, work on Doctor Who. And
So I wonder how they got to record those sounds during that time.
Yeah. Rambo is here. Imagine if Incestuous was Rambo just came in with a machine gun and shot all the Daleks.
No. It's so fucking is done. Live for nothing, but fuck for something. Let it go, I'll give you a fuck you won't believe. Let it go. Oh yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing the belated Christmas Carol sketch. Yes, yeah, that's going to be fun. We'll get that sorted out soon, because we're almost finished with the script.
Yeah.
I think for the next commentary, we might want to choose something that's a bit shorter.
Yeah, like a new series episode or a 4-parter or something.
Yeah, we can always do a Capaldi episode.
Yeah.
Well, one of the better ones. Like, do maybe Kill the Moon, or one from Series 8, I would have thought.
Yeah. Yeah, we do Kill the Moon or a Robot of Sherwood or something.
Yeah.
Clara, you want to just shut your ass up?
Clara, you slizzy bitch, shut the fuck up. My TARDIS, my rules. Now bend over. Because it's about to get rattling.
Exterminate! Woo!
Oh shit.
$49, $50.
We're already halfway through part 7.
Yeah. We're nearly at the end. But the moment has been prepared for. Jeez, I mean, if they didn't help her, she could have been like cut in half.
He doesn't think he can hold it.
It's interesting. This is the first Dalek story, but apparently it takes millions of years after the first, after Genesis.
Does it? Huh.
It's interesting that the Daleks would come back after this. Like, you'd think if the Daleks weren't successful, it'd just be a one-off.
Yeah. But thankfully, they were hugely successful, and they still are today.
Yeah, I mean, in the 60s, when this story first came out, the public just went mad for Daleks. There were Dalek toys, Dalek soap, Dalek costumes. Dalek mania, basically. Dalek story every year up until Triton's first series. Oh, Russell and some keys.
22.
420.
21.
420, please it.
Alexander, we're at 21.
Can you imagine the Daleks talking in text speak? LXD.
Lol.
OMG.
Ooh, she threw a rock at us. How dare she?
I quite like the final attack on the Daleks.
Hmm.
Shit. Right in the gonads. Destroy those Dalek bastards.
And this is the time the Daleks are shit scared as well.
Yeah.
First of them.
Listen to me. Yes. Stop. Wait.
I don't know.
No.
Sorry, mate, you're fucked.
My boy.
Yes.
Yes.
Get the ship working.
Yes.
Come along.
Salute of ship. It's like we only came here to see the city. We managed to destroy Daleks.
What good is it to us?
For once, can't we just enjoy the view?
Can you imagine every time the Doctor lands on a planet, he has to fight some alien? Like, why can't he just go on that for a nice holiday?
Exactly. He only wants a quiet life. Travel.
Some other way.
Believe it or not, all I'm after is a quiet life.
Peter Davison said in Warriors Deep, if only there were another way.
Yeah.
Well, 5 minutes left.
Very end now. But the Daleks will be back.
No, I think they defeated them. Yeah, they'll be back.
Yeah, they'll face William Hartnell again.
The compensator, my friend. Which is the whole of it. It's thrown away, forgetting, unless you want to live in a shell like our dead friends. Where did you get your knowledge, Doctor? No, I never seen.
I read it off Wikipedia.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
The whole
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no of where to go.
You know, this soil is not quite better. I'm making tests, and even you might be.
I think Hartnell brought a great charm and sort of round figure to the Doctor.
Never. But I'd like to say this to you. Always search the truth. My truth in the star. Yours is here. No, I'm afraid of question.
I loved Hartnell's speech in the first episode. Yeah, Sam cries a strange bird, watching feeling under the sky. Would that satisfy you?
What are you up to? It's the principal standing and it's good.
It's lovely. Oh, by the way, Doctor, have you fitted the fluid link? Not yet, but I have it safely here.
You can tell they've been for the Daleks. They're becoming more friendly to each other, but their friendship is really tested in the next story where they say they still don't really trust each other, which is really good.
The vibe is definitely more positive.
Yeah,
this time.
So I like about Edge of Destruction, like it's basically a character piece. It's 2 episodes long. It's sort of a character piece. You know, let me see at the end of that they become more friendly, become more of a family at the end of Edge of Destruction.
So make this one suitable for swamp cabin.
Well, that's a good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Liam. Thank you for everything.
I wish.
Barbara, I'm leaving.
Tell he fancies her.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. You're staying here on Skaro.
Sorry, mate, but she's Chesterton's crumpet.
You can go with that blonde girl.
Yeah.
Come along.
Just wanted to get my dick out.
Probably I could just fuck her one last time.
Never forget.
The girls here are thin anyway, so you're not missing much. What's the sexy one doing? I love that TARDIS console on the room. We see Susan's outfit for the first story. And I like the fact that every episode takes place after another.
Yeah, it's like it always segues into the next story.
It's like, I guess you could count like every episode is part of the same story.
Yeah, so it's like one continuous narrative. Well, that's it. That's the Daleks. The first ever story. You know what? It's been a long ride, but it was worth it.
Yeah. 7 parts.
Bravo. Well done, guys. Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean,
for the first story, what a great impression to make.
Yeah, for the first Dalek story, yeah. I mean, I think definitely if I had to compare Unearthly Childhood Daleks, I would take this over, but I really like both, but I think, you know, out of the 2 stories, this is definitely the better one. It's kind of like the opposite Rose and the End of the World. Rose is great, End of the World's a bit meh.
Yeah. But I mean, this, for me, that story was when people started to really see, oh, right, I get it now. So this is what Doctor Who is. I think people really start to pay much more of an interest into the show and its potential. And, you know, consequently, you know, that, you know, the show is only ever going to get more popular. And, you know, it was a fantastic story. I mean, it was long, but really, really good throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot to thank the first story as well, because without the story we wouldn't have had the Daleks, and without the Daleks, Doctor Who would probably have died off a lot sooner. I mean, I think William Hartnell and the rest of the cast really hold it together. Like, I mean, they're great. I mean, if you didn't have William Hartnell as the Doctor, then the show might have failed. And I think having Russell as well as really balances the human sort of side to the story. Like, the Doctor is an alien, but Ian and Barbara sort of bring the human side to the story. And throughout this first story and this story, that there's a lot of tension between them. Like, when Ian's like the stupid fool, he mess, and it goes even further with the next story, Edge of Destruction, where we see there's this something's going wrong with the TARDIS, and they're all confined in a space, and we see that the Doctor still doesn't trust Ian and Barbara, and it's only at the end of that episode where we see that the Doctor begins to trust them and begins to see them in a different light. And I just think the pacing is great. For nearly 3 hours, for 3 hours long, it's a really well-paced story. Like, there isn't really any dull moments in it.